I guess what I'll call this is recently played, and recently I've been playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, just the multiplayer part, and it's been interesting. The main interesting fact is that when this game did kind of come out, I was playing it quite a bit, and that was in my Windows days, and it is one of those games that, you know, once you put it down, you're kind of done, because they keep coming out with new ones, I think, every year. But I've been checking out certain Windows titles in my library with ProtonDB.com to, you know, check which games that I have on Windows. Sure, they might not be whitelisted, but enough people have given it a platinum or to give it a go. And recently I found that a couple of people were saying that Modern Warfare 2 was working. So I went, oh wow, that game. I'm a first-person shooter junkie, so I find any excuse to play any first-person. I'll play this to TF2 to some great single-player game, Half-Life, whatever. And lately I've just been in a kind of mood to just chill out. While I would like to just ramble on about, you know, Linux and Proton and all that good stuff, there's something interesting about the Call of Duty games. They all kind of follow the same pattern. They all kind of do the same thing. And surface level, really, they're not that interesting. But just playing them there's something about the shooting mechanics that I haven't seen anywhere else done on any first-person shooter game. I don't know how to pinpoint it. I don't know what to call it. It's like a mixture of the recoil mechanics and just the sheer nonsense of things going on constantly. I'm trying to talk while doing this, and that's just not going to do me any good because I'm going to be constantly looking at the screen being shot at. And it's supremely ridiculous. And what I like about it is it's so just over the top, nonsensical. There's too much going on. That was one thing when I first started playing it. There's too much going on all the time, and keeping track of it all, I'm sure some people can keep track of everything that's going on, you know, really squeeze out all that delicious skill, but there are just certain things you can't help. Like, you can't help if someone throws a grenade across the map and you get gibbed and it sticks to you and you're dead. You know, there's nothing you could do about it. So yeah, just getting randomly noob tubed, get randomly grenaded, or just, you know, someone calling in some sort of airstrike or whatever. Boom, you're dead. There really isn't anything you can do about it. To a certain degree, you can kind of prehensively try and prepare to not get shot or something like that, but really, you can't. Something that I find really interesting is that this is a game that came out in 2009 in November. This is a game that I was fairly sure was, because it's a peer-to-peer network multiplayer game, and from my experience, once the numbers go down of players, it's pretty much dead in the water. And there's still plenty of people playing the original Modern Warfare, and there's still plenty of people playing the World of War games, but those have the dedicated servers. So I was like, when I saw the game title on Proton DB, I was quite surprised to see people going, oh yeah, multiplayer works. Like, what do you mean multiplayer works? There's no one playing it. There's actually people playing this game still, and that delights me that not just Call of Duty, but any title 10 years down the line still has enough people playing the multiplayer. And I've seen other things as well where I'm not sure what it is, but it kind of looks like a mod, where it looks like someone made some kind of hacky dedicated server mechanism to it. I can't really say. I haven't looked it up. I need to go. Okay, I think this is a certain degree of accepting a game for what it is after this long. Like, if you can't accept what the things that are going on in this game are in this game, the developers aren't going to come back and balance things out. There isn't going to be any sort of... The only time you get that sort of thing is with actual dedicated servers, and that's why I thought this game would be dead. There's still people bitching about certain qualities to this game, and I find that really interesting that there's still people playing, and there's still people bitching about certain things. Like, sure, it sucks to get noob tubed or call striked or whatever, but there's a certain, like, that is what it, there's just no way around it. With the shooting mechanics, there's something very interesting, and there's something very smooth about the way the guns work. And I know that it's because the guns are all kind of simple. Like, there really isn't anything complicated. There really isn't anything about it that makes any kind of a, one gun has more spread than the other one, but that's just any kind of shooter. But there's still something kind of nice. I can't really pinpoint what it is, even for someone like me that plays tons of first-person shooters. I am delighted that there's still people playing this game. I really thought it was going to be dead. I would be perfect, because I know the first Modern Warfare and World at War still have people in it, but I can see those numbers in the dedicated server list. I mean, it's there. I can look at it. This one you can't really see it. Like, even when I first launched this game, there's a menu at the start that tells you how many people are playing online. It reported 0. So I imagine just that part doesn't work. Like, I almost just kind of closed the game, not thinking there was actually anybody playing this thing. Like, there's no one playing, all lies. One thing that I've always really appreciated about this game, sure there's DLC, but luckily this is like right when Activision was just about getting kind of bad with that. So I think there's only 2 map packs, but for the most part, no one plays it. Or at least not that I know. I will say there is something, when Infinity Ward made this multiplayer version, they definitely made each map specific to a kind of play style. Like, you can go against the grain. You can always go running shotgun or always go sniper. You can make it work. There's no wrong way to play. That's the nice thing about it. You can always go noob tube if you wanted to. It's there. You could do it. The thing I always liked is that each of the maps have a different kind of feel to them tactic-wise. Depending on the map, you're either going to go a little bit more longer range than others. And sure, the very nature of Call of Duty multiplayer, even if you do match the kind of style with the map, you're still going to get that guy who's going to go against the grain and either one of two things. He won't be able to kill you at all, and you're going to feel sorry for him for how many times you killed him. Or he's going to be running around killing all your other teammates, however you haven't seen him once. Or he's going to be constantly killing you all the time and make you so mad. It's usually one of those that show up. But again, the game is what it is. It's not changing. I think one of the reasons that I've been finding myself playing Call of Duty lately is that there just hasn't been a nice team deathmatchy sort of game come out in a while. I mean, with Unreal Tournament being abandoned and everyone following the Battle Royale train, because I play a little bit of the CSGO version. I haven't really played any other versions, honestly. And for me, I just like good old deathmatch stuff. I've even been trying to play Unreal Tournament and Quake and stuff like that. But the player count, for some strange reason, there are servers that are in there, but the ping is like some other country. Like, I'm pretty sure a lot of the stuff is in across the ocean sort of deal. So my ping is always just awful. However, with this, I mean, I can't directly see the number. There's no good netstat utility or anything like that in here, but it doesn't feel wonky, doesn't feel laggy, feels pretty good. So, good enough. A lot of times, people only really play with exact numbers and stuff like that, and I don't need that. And sometimes it's just nice to have a simple little shooter game, even when there's just too much going on, and the way that person is playing just feels kind of cheap, but that's what the game is. It's there. You can't really change it or do anything with it. And I find that more freeing than playing a more modern game that's still getting updates, but yet, there's something about it where you feel it's kind of cheap, or that thing is sort of dumb, why they leave that in there, that sort of thing. There's always some little nitpick thing that you or someone else will find particularly annoying, but seems to never change. Then you just keep wondering, well, why do they leave that there? That seems weird. I think this is a really great example of what Proton can do for Linux. Is that there's this old game, never had the source code released at any point. It's from a publisher that is never going to update it again. And for the most part, even their newer ones, they're not entirely at all interested at the Linux market. Their Activision is worried about how much money they can make. They're not worried about anything else. That's what they do. Not saying that as a negative or positive. That's just a matter of fact. That's what they do. And what I think is really nice is that there's games like this. There's the Call of Duty games. There's all the games from Bethesda. They don't have any Linux support, but it's nice to be able to just sit down and play the thing. I think one of the main things I wanted to get across with me using Proton on just this silly shooter game is that there was very little work. All I had to do was turn on, and this is right now. later on, this might be a game that could become whitelisted and just show up. Might even not have to do these extra steps later on. But all I had to do was turn on Steam Proton for all titles and the newest beta of Proton, and it worked. What I think is cool about Linux gaming in general now is that there's less and less the end user has to do to finagle Windows games to work on this platform. Because I haven't been using Linux for graybeard levels of years, but I've been using it long enough to know that, you know, I've got, even though I had to like do some stuff before to get Wine working properly with a game, that's like cake levels compared to what it was before. And it's just really, it's really cool to see this stuff come around.